Convolution reverb is a technology based on sampling or recording the reverb characteristics of an actual space. These samples, called impulse responses, can be stored on your computer, giving you immediate access to the great acoustic spaces of the entire world. Wave's IR1 reverb can create, load, and play back these impulse responses and allow you to tailor them to your own purposes. IR1 behaves much the same as any algorithmic reverb generator, but instead of using a formula for computing the delays, it simply replays a sample of an actual space. IR1 comes with its own bundle of impulse responses, but it can also load most third-party IRs. Even hardware devices can be sampled and saved as an IR. The graphic interface shows us a representation of the sample, an info box on the left, and a 4-band damping EQ on the right. The usual reverb parameters are available on sliders below, along with our familiar output mix sliders. Above the graph is an adjustable envelope curve. Points are created by double-clicking and dragging. The boxes above the graph disable the envelope or reset it. The reverb time is set to default at the full length of the sample shown in the info box. As you change the reverb time, you're telling the computer to time stretch the reverb sample in the amount that you see in the ratio box. So a ratio of 2:1 makes the reverb decay twice as long. The RT60 display is telling you how long it takes the reverb to decay 60 decibels. The output section contains a mix control for using IR as an inline plugin. When used this way, the default is 50%. The main output section functions a little differently than the other digital reverbs. The direct section is not really dry, but rather the source audio passed through the space, but separated from the early reflections and the reverb tail. Each section has its own pre-delay that can be linked with these buttons. So if this button is checked, the reflections and the tail are controlled together, or all three together. Notice the cool reverse button over here at the top left, which reverses the algorithm. I have an example of a string section that was recorded in a studio, but with the addition of convolution reverb, we can make it sound like it was recorded in a hall. Here's the tail of the hall decaying. Pretty cool. So for realistic environments, nothing beats IR convolution reverb for accuracy. Though it's heavy on your CPU, it gives you access to all the great halls of the world and all the analog processor units of the past through sampling technology.